the show kicking. Okay, let's get the show alive. Let's do what is needed, what we should do. Let's send in your message, contribute to the conversation, ask questions if you want to ask questions, drop a comment if you want to drop a comment, respond or react to somebody's comment or question or the topic that we're having. But let's leave the hello, let's leave that aside. Let's leave that on the side right now. And let me run you through, because there's a whole lot of them. So let me run you through the transfer rumors that are speculating all over the beautiful world of football. Novak Djokovic, came out on that BBC interview and he said he doesn't regret what happened with the Australian Open. He will not take the jab and he's willing to stand for what he believes. I don't know if it is ego, if it is pride, if it is an incorrigible human being who just think that, okay, things have to go his way and that's the way he will become a hero. But history has always told me that almost all the people that we celebrate today as legends were renegades and, treated like they were against the norm. So I'm not one person who because I also like to stand my ground on the things that I believe in. So I'm not one of those persons who would come here and tear Novak Djokovic apart, because there is still some gray area with this whole COVID talk. So if somebody says, okay, this is what I want to do, fine. If it means he will never get a chance to progress in terms of the number of titles that he's won, and he's put that into consideration, because according to him, in the BBC interview, he said that he's very, very well aware that it will affect his tennis, like his opportunities to win and win and win, and other people would overtake him, and his legacy will be rubbish. But because this is what he believes in, let's see how it goes. But then that's what Lance Armstrong used to say about his drug situation, that he denied vehemently that he's never taken drugs, he's never touched drugs, he's never seen drugs. As a matter of fact, drug is only something he hears in the news. He's never seen it, never touched it. Even when you have a fever or any injury, maybe he takes Agbo, he doesn't take drugs, blah, 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 until the breast of Oprah Winfrey showed up and he was nodding his head like a gamma lizard. So sometimes people stand for one thing and then they do another thing. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know it all. I think Novak Djokovic is right or he's wrong. I'm just going to leave him to his thing. It's his career, it's his legacy, it's his game, it's his tennis. So if he chooses, because I don't believe in this COVID thing, I'm not going to take the jab, whether it's the first one, the second dose, and then the booster jab, and then maybe there's going to be a supreme jab after, okay? Because Omicron has come now. After Omicron, we might get Usher or T-Pain or, Omicron is Omarion and Limawa or Vin Diesel, and let's leave COVID. You know that every winter there's now going to be one strain or one new strain that comes in. COVID, if you look carefully, if you study the history, COVID comes with winter. So every time winter is coming, it's Winter Soldier or probably Game of Thrones kind of winter. But let's look at the transfer rumors that are speculating around the beautiful world of the game, football. France midfielder Paul Pogba, 28, is open to offers from Premier League clubs when his Manchester United contract expires in the summer. Damn. Well, I know he's not going to go to Man City. Pep Guardiola does not need that kind of player in his team. Newcastle are lining up a fresh £45 million offer bid for Crystal Palace 23-year-old English playmaker Eberechi Eze. Okay, that's the one that Nigeria is trying to get, but somehow he's not budging. He's not making up his mind to play for Nigeria. I'm sure if he goes to Newcastle and maybe Newcastle start going up on the league table, start pushing up, and he plays and he gets some inspired football, he would maybe get the attention of the England coach, Gary Southgate, or whoever will be there after this World Cup, because I'm most certain that he will not be on the squad for the World Cup. Now, there's a caveat to that conversation. Eberechi Eze goes to Newcastle. I don't think Eberechi Eze is not in the class of Kevin De Bruyne. He's not in the class of Bernardo Silva. He's not in the class of Ike Gundogan. I'm just talking of title-winning midfielders now. So if Newcastle are going to spend the kind of money that I hope that they will spend, I will beat my chest here and say here and now that Eberechi Eze going to Newcastle is the burial ground of his young career. What are my reasons? I'm going to explain as the show progresses. If you're there, you can throw up your question and let me know about that. But I'm saying Eberechi Eze going to Newcastle is the burial ground of his young and fledgling career. So if anybody is his handler who's listening to this show, whether it's via the Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, tell Eberechi Eze that's going to be the worst move he makes if he dares to make it. But let's move further down. Manchester United just Lingard could turn down a free transfer to Tottenham Hotspur. Oh God, Tottenham Hotspur once again. Okay, at the end of the season, as the England forward 29 would prefer to move abroad rather than to play in England. Lyon president Jean-Marcus Oz has entered the club might look to make 25-year-old French midfielder Tonga Ndombele's loan move from Tottenham permanent arrangement should the club win the Europa League. That condition is deep. So if you don't win it, you're not going to be there. iRock Music, Chris, thank you for joining on this live. I see Sam Soji there. Thank you very much as well. Leeds United 25-year-old Brazil winger Rafinha, who has been linked with Liverpool, has rejected a contract offer from Elland. Excuse me. Rejected the contract from the Elland Road club. Okay, that means that the chance of him going to Liverpool is getting brighter. Have you guys seen how somehow, magically, Jurgen Klopp is, shelling his team and rebuilding it, like, rebuilding a new squad going forward. He's got one of the best number 9 in England, not in Europe. In Europe, it's still Lewandowski. But in England, he's got one of the best number 9 in Diego Jota. Sometimes his movement might be suspect, but aerially, his area prowess is good. His ability to get the scrappy goals and the classic goals in and around the box is something to look at. And then he's still got the strength and speed of Sadio Mane, but that doesn't have another 2 years in it. And Mo Salah too is also waning, but he's also got the creativity, the glue, the guard, the style, and quality of the Brazilian number 9 who doesn't score goals, but he has a lot of value. Like they say in our partners talks about earlier today, maybe we're expecting something that is not. We just say because he wears the number 9 jersey, so he should be scoring 25, 30 goals. I've always said that Roberto Firmino, for me, Robbie is not a player who will give you that number of goals. But what I like about him is he makes it easy for other people to score. As small, as little as he is, with his nimble and fleet foot, he's able to draw attention to himself, close the wall of the center defense on him, so much so that people like Sadio Mane and Mo Salah would have spaces on the side to do their damage. And those guys don't need to be directly face-to-face to go to score goals. They can score from the side. They cut in and whip it in, which Moses Simon could do something like that. But that's a topic for another day. But what I worry is Roberto Firmino stays long, and there'll be issues between him and Diego Jota because they seem to play in the same position. But then if you haven't thought about that, you can say maybe on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. But then if you want to call in, it's 07025000069, and you can drop a message on WhatsApp as well on the same number, 07025000069. That said, let's go to this one. But Leeds are still in talks with their top scorer and believe the negotiations with Rafinha's agent, former Barcelona and Chelsea midfielder Deco, over a fresh deal has been positive. Newcastle United still want to sign Netherlands under 21 centre back Van Botman from French club Lille, who turned down a £50 million bid from the Premier League club in January, but the Magpies also face competition from Tottenham Hotspur and AC Milan. AC Milan I can understand, but Tottenham Hotspur in competition with Newcastle. For as long as Newcastle stays and doesn't get relegated, I think that Tottenham Hotspur is not competition. They don't have what it takes. Interim boss Ralf Rangnick has made his first Manchester United signing by telling English fullback Brandon Williams, 21, he will definitely return to Old Trafford at the end of his loan to Norwich. Okay, is that signing? That's not like a signing. That's the regular player. But Manchester United could block Rangnick transfer plans again after blocking a January move for RB Leipzig 24-year-old French midfielder Christopher Nkunku. All right, Arsenal are the latest Premier League team to show interest in AC Milan 22-year-old Portugal striker Rafael Leo, okay, according to the Italian publication La Repubblica via the Metro. Okay, Newcastle are facing a fight to retain 30-year-old Swiss defender Fabian Schär as his contract enters his final 5 months with AC Milan, Sevilla, and Valencia, all interested in the player. Brendan Rodgers says that Leicester City star Wilfred Ndidi is worth much more than £50 million after Aston Villa were linked with a move for the 25-year-old Nigerian midfielder this summer. And I agree with Brendan Rodgers on that. I'm not always the guy who says that, but I mean, in terms of quality, there are some things that are missing in Wilfred into this game. I agree. He doesn't bring goals to his game all the frequent. He also doesn't create assists. And if you look at today's football, primary responsibilities are no longer enough to be on the top of the shelf. Okay, so if you are a primary responsibility kind of player alone, and by that I'm going to explain that. By that I mean primary responsibility is a defensive midfielder. His job is to stop the opposition from getting through to the center backs and getting to goals. Okay, so he is the checkpoint. He is the what you call the speed breaker. He's the guy who makes sure that the opposition are not in on goal, head on without anybody stopping them. He's your firewall. He's your antivirus, right? But in today's football, doing that alone does not make you great. It just makes you good. And back in the day, good is okay. But in today's football, where statistics and data and all this analogy comes to play, you're not going to be rated very highly. So Wilfred has got the stride in him, and I think that he can shoot if he wants to shoot. Yes, when I had a conversation with him in Cameroon, he said he started his career as a centre back. So maybe he still think himself as a centre back, as a back man. But if he adds the ability to pick out a good pass and add a few, shot to goal to his game, he could just go from here, which is top, to there, which is over the top. So you have to choose where you want to be in this game of football. Sometimes you have to know the time. There are some names that are mentioned in the Bible. They didn't perform miracle. They didn't do anything. They didn't lead. They didn't build anything. They just did because they understood the times. And I think that if we understood the times, it makes us know what to do the right way. So I think that knowing the times that we're in, he needs to bring in a few additions to his game. It just might help him excel on a different level. But I agree with Brendan Rodgers. Wilfred Ndidi is worth more than 50 million. If you can put 100 million pounds on a very average 25,000 naira player, Jack Grealish, then Wilfred Ndidi is definitely worth more than 100 million pounds. But you can have your say. You can tell me what you think on that, whether I'm right or wrong, comparing him to other players that are, tagged in the 100 million category. He's got age on his side. He's 25. He's a young man, and he plays consistently. He's shown it against some of the big side. I still remember the Community Shield game with Man City. This guy was incredible. The reason why Leicester won that one was Wilfred Ndidi. He was the checkpoint. He knew where the ball was going at every given time, and he made sure he stopped them on their track. So let's move on. I agree with you, Brendan Rodgers. I hardly agree with you on a lot of things, but this one I agree with you. Chelsea have joined Newcastle in targeting Reims' 19-year-old striker Ugo Ekitike, but also face competition for the Frenchman from Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea, I will say, you can't compete for a young player with Borussia Dortmund. Your money will not even work because Borussia Dortmund have a project, and young players seems to like to gravitate towards Borussia Dortmund before going to Chelsea. One, if you go to Chelsea, expectations will be high, might not play regularly. When you go to Dortmund, you definitely will play regularly. Your game will improve, you become a better player. They will not loan you at Chelsea. You are 19, going to Chelsea, you can't play, you will always be loaned at. So that's also a problem. Everton have been sending scouts to watch Sporting Lisbon and Portugal winger Mateus Nunes, who's 23, and they hope that they've seen enough to make an offer at the end of the season. Manchester United are interested in a move to sign 21-year-old Brazil and Ajax winger Anthony, who could potentially be joined by manager Eric Ten Hag at Old Trafford should a move come to fruition. West Ham have joined Leeds in the chase for Huddersfield 23-year-old English midfielder Lewis O'Brien, who it has emerged has a £12 million release clause in his contract. Okay, so let me hear from the people. Cars_347 on Instagram say Ndidi is a decent player. I think his agent should work harder because he deserves to play for the top clubs in Europe. I agree with you. And he says, good morning. What do you think about Iwobi's performance against Leeds during the weekend? He had a good game, but it wasn't really about Ndidi. That game for me, it was this might come different, but it's Van der Beek for me that really got everybody going. It was the base of everything that was transmitting. It was the base station, right? So it was feeding all the other athletes, all the sub radio unit and the rest, which it will be happen to be one of them. He had a good game. I can't take it more than that. He had a good game. In that game, if you want to pick man of the match, you definitely will not pick him. It will be. You won't pick it. Will be. If you're picking the top 5 performances that game, maybe you put it in number 5. So he had a good game, and that's because over a very long period of time, he's not done that. Now, one of the things that I've always argued against Alex Iwobi is the fact that yes, he's got potential, but he's not been able to put it on the plate on a consistent basis, right? So today he's a fantastic player in flashes, and then the next day it's just disappearing, and then the next time he shows up, he's got this absent-mindedness in his game, and so most times that bothers me if I want to judge him. That's the reason why I don't rate him. But if you can put up that performance that we saw over the weekend on a consistent basis, so out of every 10 games, he shows up like that 7 times. And then we cannot forgive the 3 times where he doesn't show up. Automatically, he goes from now, because of my rating is at the bottom, to here, and then here, and then up there. We still have to give him some time to do that. He's a new coach. I'll be patient with him again to the end of the season and see how it goes. But to be very honest with you, he had a good game over the weekend. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not his fan. I'm not like, crazy about it, but I don't want to go over the top with just one game because there are so many players who get this one amazing game and you'll be like, wow, how did he perform like this? But what makes players great is not how you perform in one game. It is what you do over the course of consistent number of games, and then you translate that into seasons. That's where legacies are built. Legacies are not built over your excellent performance in one game against a team that happen to be having a rough time currently. So those are some of the things you use to judge. You play that kind of performance against Man City, then we'll be having a conversation. This is not an accident because this is a midfield that doesn't even allow you to play the ball in the first place, and then it's putting up this type of performance. But then when you're playing against a team that's struggling, you obviously